The oceans rolled. The stars shine. The wind blows. And children play. The flower blooms. A dog sleeps. And birds fly. We take them all for granted when they move harmoniously, yet we are confounded when malfunction occurs.
It is difficult for a fish to see its own aquarium.
They think they can get away with being little cunts. I was so tense when I was reading that.
This boy and this girl were never properly introduced to the world we live in.
Yeah.
spirituality hitherto unknown to history or religion. Chinese, Hottentots, gypsies, nincompoops, the magnetic comedy. The eyes flame, the blood sings. Others bear masts, signals, frail parapets. Minor chords interlace and fade. Ropes rise from the banks. You distinguish her red coat, other clothes perhaps, and musical instruments. Are those popular airs, snatches from noble concerts, the remains of public anthems? The water is gray and blue, wide as an arm of the sea. A white ray, falling from on high, annihilates this comedy. Authenticity as a moral imperative is a recent obsession. It was accorded relatively little importance during most of the last 100,000 years, even and especially by historians. Authenticity was thought unachievable, and for good reason. The past, after all, does not exist, except in our individual imaginations, and no two of us can imagine even yesterday in the same way. Thus, what we call history is what we ourselves create, our story. History is not written by the hand of God, nor by nature, and dialectical materialism has no hand. The past's only relevance is what it means to us today. This is why Renaissance paintings of the Crucifixion or Nativity set biblical events in contemporary contexts, with medieval villages in the background and angels gambling where they will. History, in prose, verse, picture, or object, once had no illusion that it was anything but myth, nor did it aspire to be. Only recently has it been primping itself as a science. Always before, myth was its highest aspiration.
To draw a human hand by starting with a hand, rather than a picture of a hand. They copied the picture, because the picture possesses conventional realism. Everyone agrees that the picture looks like a hand, regardless of whether the hand looks like the picture. Thus, in effect, conventional realism is reality, the reality we live in. If we can draw a hand a different way, and get people to accept it, we can create a new reality to live in.
what neither time nor study is obliged to recognize. For sale. Priceless bodies. Forget all limitations of race, of world, of sex, of lineage. Wealth spurts up at every step. Unsupervised. Sale of diamonds. For sale. Anarchy for people. Irrepressible satisfaction for select connoisseurs. An atrocious death for devout and for lovers. For sale. Housing and migrations, sports, extravagant spectacles, and total comfort. And the noise, the activity, and the future they build. For sale. The uses of arithmetic and unsuspected harmonic intervals. Bargains and unheard of items with immediate occupancy. Mad and infinite momentum towards invisible splendors, imperceptible delights, and its secrets that madden every vice, and its gaiety that frightens the masses. For sale. Bodies, voices, immense, unarguable opulence.
That's not real.
Things like
The duty of police in a capitalist state is to protect private property. The duty of art in a capitalist state is to be private property. The minimum amount of the value of labor power is determined by the value of the commodities, without the daily supply of which the laborer cannot renew his vital energy, consequently by the value of those means of subsistence that are physically indispensable. If the price of labor power fall to this minimum, it falls below its value, since under such circumstances it can be maintained and developed only in a crippled state so as to be of normal quality.
Flower wrap check 10-7, flower wrap check 0, 1.
highways bordered by gates and walls that barely contain their groves, and the horrible flowers that might be called hearts and sisters, the road to Damascus damning in its length, the chattels of fairy tale aristocracies beyond the Rhine, or Japanese, or Guaranian, still capable of receiving ancestral music, and there are inns that will never open again. There are princesses, and if you're not too weary, the study of the stars and planets, the sky, the morning when, with her, you thrashed about amid shards of snow, your lips grew.
Unsupervised sale of diamonds.
Killed the what? MCU.
Close up.
Just just head to neck?
Yeah.
The road to Damascus damning in its length, the chattels of fairy tale aristocracies beyond the Rhine, or Japanese, or Guaranian, still capable of receiving ancestral music, and there are inns that will never open again. There are princesses, and if you're not too weary, the study of the stars and planets, the sky, the morning when, with her, you thrashed about amid shards of snow, your lips green, ice, black banners and blue rays, and the purple perfumes of the polar sun, your strength.
The formula MC represents a series of purchases by means of money which the capitalist spends either in commodities proper or for personal services to his cherished self or family. These purchases are made piecemeal at various times. Money, therefore, exists temporarily in the form of a supply, or hoard, of money destined for gradual consumption, for money interrupted in its circulation partakes of the nature of the hoard. Its function as a circulating medium, including that of a temporary hoard, does not share in this circulation of capital having the form of money M. This money is not advanced, but spent.
I'll just get veggie burger.
I'm okay.
I can get you something.
No, it's fine.
I'll get two.
Happy. Bo, is that you? Are you all right?
Yeah, everything's fine.
He lifted a brick, and rubbed it against the chains hoping it would break. He did not expect it to break.
When did you learn how to do that? When I was about 13 years old.
A figure in silhouette approached. He had a flashlight. He heard the crack. Was it a policeman? The man at the Coliseum? The interrogation? Was it both? The policeman shone the light in Bo's face. Bo recognized him, and he recognized Bo. So he drew a gun. So Bo charged the shadowed figure, to survive. But then, weren't there shadows everywhere? Yes, it was a policeman. Still shadow covered his eyes. The officer reached for his pistol, which had fallen, and lifted it. And Bo grabbed for the brick which in desperation he thought would ensure his freedom. Bo was elated. At last, I am free. And because in the darkness, he missed the hand which held the pistol. He was free now, because he had cracked the man's skull instead. And the flashlight still shone with a beam of light which bounced off the wall and illuminated a pool of blood.
You called that newspaper guy personally. That makes you personally responsible. I guess they'd be happy to pin a murder rap on you personally, wouldn't they, boss?
That bottle is getting in your way, Counselor. Make me a case. A good one, you know, habeas corpus delicti. Then you can have a drink.
All right. How many times have you all yelled for a mouthpiece to spring you? Now shut up! It's a matter of habeas corpus ad subjiciendum. We must establish the substantial facts in the body of the crime as the result of a criminal agency. We must have due process, courts of law, evidence, all the evidence. Can you state under oath that my client is the man who committed these grievous acts? He's the one!
What did the blind man say?
I wish to confer with my client, if you will. Please, give me a moment with my client. Every man's got a right to see his lawyer. We gotta get rid of that guy. He's gotta disappear. Let the cops find him in the river.
He don't deserve a lawyer.
Some guys ain't got a right to law. What have you got to say for yourself?
That's what I wanted, my day in court, but I thought about a law court. But this will have to do. You see, I've discovered something very important for everybody to know. I haven't got it all figured out yet. I can't put all my fingers, can't put all the pieces together yet, but it's too important. People gotta listen. See, my mother always told me that took me a while to figure out, but my mother said that men are born evil and cruel and awful. Not just all people, but men. Men are born evil and low, and that's the hardest thing there is for a man to fight against. That's the hardest thing there is for a man. You have to be hurt. You have to be punished in order to be good. You have to be whipped and tortured and crucified in order to understand. She's a good woman, beautiful, hands gentle across the hands. Why should she suffer? Why should she of all women when... See, that's what I've never understood. This is important, this part, when I stole the blanket for her. She knew I was trying to be good, but she made me take a blanket back to the sheriff. It was only at the county farm I really understood. Found a bird. Well, it was like birds. That broken wing, and I nursed it. And then when it was almost well, it wanted to fly away, and I stood above it. Ugly and cruel. Too ugly and cruel for birds and children, so I knew I had to kill the children. The bird. I had to kill a bird, so I'd be punished and kept on the farm.
Do you kill a man like this? Or imprison him, or do you put him in an institution? If we is good an excuse, what of our own guilt? What of the pennies and nickels and dimes stolen from the poor? Sight! Blind! Blind. Do you kill a man like this? Or imprison him, or do you put him in an institution? If we is good an excuse, what of our own guilt? What of the pennies and nickels and dimes stolen from the poor? Children's lunch money that goes into our slot machines, workmen's rent that's bet on horses. How many children have gone hungry and without food because of us?
Don't be a philosopher, Langley.
His faith and his will to refuse.
Either talk my way or shut up.
Who gave him a drink to forget what he did?
All right, so forget it. You're no lawyer, you're a clown, a drunken clown. Make him laugh.
My client was a child once with great and many hopes for the future. I can't help thinking, where are the killers? Who killed our children's hopes?
She's right. Let him sleep for a short time. Not too long a time, just long enough to get back his dream. The floodgates are opening, the water is rushing like the people against the dams and the goddams. But waken him in time. Take care of each other. It is your only chance for survival. All else is vanity. And let the rest of us swing.
There's the family that loves together and brings themselves some cheer. Though the kids earn fame, no fortune, they will make it through the years. And these 6 walls will keep us dry when all hell breaks loose from the sky. There's the family that laughs and cries together. Together. God bless the family that sings together. A song bursts from their throats, pulling out some rooted sorrow. They'll strain at every note, and these sad notes keep hope alive and help this fragile love survive. Bless the family that lives and dies together. 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 Bless the family that loves. Bring them some happiness and shelter from loneliness. Oh.
In this world, sin that pays its way can travel freely and without passport, whereas virtue is stopped at all frontiers.
As Bo neared his home, so too did the flashing lights of a siren. Looking for a place to hide,